Life of an Angel, a 100-year journey. We're episode number 3, part 1. The name of this episode is Life of an Angel, Earliest Childhood Memories. These are going to be preteen memories we're going to talk to Grandma about. Just like school and teachers and maybe some of the music and TV. Did you have a little TV? That type of stuff. Maybe Christmas and stuff like that. But I'll just lead you into the questions. Obviously, I'm Lonnie. This is Jordan. And our angel, Grandma Melba. So, Grandma, we'll go ahead and get started. And I guess I've been wanting to ask you this because I have memories of the way it was, and it's a weird question actually, but I want you to talk a little bit about the weather in Kirtland, because for me, I remember a lot of snow, and the weather we had, it was different. We had a lot more moisture. It was colder, and I probably even imagine when you were young, was it cold, and did you get a lot of snow?
We got more snow than there is now. It used to snow and then it would remain on the ground for a day or a week or longer. And in the winter, it seemed like there was almost always snow on the ground. And my brother Golden had made himself a sled, and then we'd go over about a block over there where there's a little hill, and we'd ride down that hill. And he had half the kids in the town down there, and they would take turns riding down that hill. And it was cold, but Golden and I used to walk all the way to school, and you know where Gidge used to live.
Hmm? Yeah.
Oh, that's
Over by the
yeah,
Mormon
that's
church.
where
Yeah,
we
the
were.
LDS church. Yep.
And we'd walk all the way down to where the old gymnasium is now. Was
Yep.
our school.
Yeah, which is quite a ways down there.
It's probably mile or two,
Yeah,
maybe not 2 miles, but maybe a mile
mile
and
and
a
a half
half.
probably. Yeah, it's not. It's a little bit of a jaunt, but and the reason I asked that is because I have memories of actually getting on Twin Hills with tubes and going down it. And if you ever been around Twin Hills, it's very rocky. So you had to get a lot of snow to be able to go down Twin Hills
Yes,
back in those days.
yes,
And then that's what I was pointing out because we get very little snow here now.
I know.
And it doesn't get, I can remember even in high school, because Dad had the business, I can remember it getting 5, 6 below zero. And then in Gallup, even colder than that. So I remember it getting really cold, but nowadays it just doesn't. It's weird, strange around here that if it even gets to probably 10 degrees or so, is
Yeah,
very
it's really
cold
cold.
for around here now. Yeah, so that was one of the questions I wanted to ask. Another one is, how did you travel back then? Did you go to town? Did you?
If I went to town, my dad had an old truck, and sometimes it was really not very reliable, but sometimes we would get in the back of that truck and ride up to town. But most of the time, if I went to town, I went with my brothers or my sisters, and
Because
also once a week on Saturday night, the man that ran, his name was Frank Stock, and he drove the school bus from Waterflow. And so he would take the bus, and you could get, if you had a quarter, you could ride the bus to Farmington, go to the movie, and have a popcorn, all for that quarter.
that's crazy. Huh?
And so I never had a quarter, but once in a while, if I ever got a quarter, I got to go.
Where now I'm trying to. I have no idea back then. But where did town actually start? Was it past the Apache Y? Wasn't it back then?
Oh, yeah, it's
It's
way
quite a
back.
ways. It was
Way,
almost to where you live now, huh?
oh, you mean,
Where towns actually started.
oh no, where Farmington started?
Yeah.
No, it didn't start till, the town didn't start till,
I'm trying.
about where the New Citizen Bank is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds okay.
And then it went down to about where the old Farmington lumber used to be,
Okay. Yep.
and then it was almost all of it was just on Main Street. There wasn't very much
Branch
on the
outside
other
of there.
street.
And so the movie theater, where would it have been at? In the kind of the middle of Main Street?
Yeah, where it is right now.
Okay, where that went. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
That's the same one?
The
No.
one at the old one, not the Tota,
Yeah.
but
The one across the street from the Tota.
Oh, okay.
That was even when I was growing up, that
So are
was
all those buildings, those were the only things, that was the town when you
that
were
was
a
the
young
town.
kid?
Main Street. Yeah, it was.
That was the town.
Because it even, my younger years, I remember they had built, and I don't know what year they built it was Brits. Remember that shopping center? Where you're living at right now, in that area, where your apartment's at right now. But that was Brits. Remember, a little kind of a mall type thing.
Yeah, there was a mall there,
Yeah.
but that wasn't when I was young.
No, when I was young, so I don't even know what year they built that. It had to be in the 70s.
It was probably in the 1960s, maybe,
Was
or
it? Yeah, 60s or 70s.
late 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
So, Grandma, if we're speaking from your earliest memories to, say, 12 or 13, that's the time period that we want to focus on. What are those years?
That would be what, 20?
What do you mean?
What years are we talking about? What is it?
30, 36? So 36,
I was born in 27,
yeah,
Yeah, so
so in
1936 or
37 I would have been
10 years.
10.
okay.
That's probably when I don't know, how old do you think you were with your first memories? I don't,
Oh, my first memories? First memories were before we even moved to Kirtland. I can
you
have memories about when we lived in Fruitland.
you had some memories?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start there. What do you remember?
And how
about
old
that?
were you when you left to Kirtland when you moved?
When I moved to Kirtland,
Yeah.
4.
Okay, so you remember. Okay, so you do remember some about down there then.
Yes, I remember playing outside, and I remember we had a big old dog, and I can't remember his name, but he was always getting into the chicken coop and eating our eggs.
Uh-oh.
So my dad took an egg and he broke it and he put a bunch of cayenne pepper in it, and then he gave it to the dog. And I don't know if it broke the dog from eating eggs or not. I can't remember that part of it. But
Probably.
and we had a lot of trees out. To me, it seemed like a lot of trees out in the yard, or what I called the orchard. And I would ask my mom to make me some bread and sugar, and she'd take a piece of bread and put canned milk on it and sprinkle it with sugar, and that's what and I took that to eat, and Golden would take the same thing, and we'd head out in the orchard, and then he'd go hide his, and when I ate all mine, he'd say, "You're through, and I'm not."
Trying to make you jealous?
Yes.
That's funny. So, how did you guys? Do you remember any vacations like when you were younger? Did you guys go on a vacation, or did you go anything like that?
How would we? We had
Because you had no vehicle that would go.
no vehicle, no money, no anything. No, we did not.
Not even you. So you didn't go to Gallup or anything like that, huh?
Not when I was young.
Yeah, younger. Okay. How were your Christmases?
How were they?
Yeah.
We had a children's dance on Christmas Eve, and I loved to go to that. And at home we had a Christmas tree, and Santa Claus would bring me one present, bring Golden one present. Wanda, I guess she was a teenager by then, but I guess she got something too.
So you had good memories. You had fun.
Yeah, and on Christmas morning, the neighbor kids had all start walking from house to house. And then when they came to your house, you'd join them, and you all walked around to see what everybody got for Christmas.
That's cool. It made it more. Today it's so materialized that
Yeah,
kids
no.
get so much. It's so different.
And we hung up our stocking at night, and that's the only time of a year I ever got to taste an orange. And there would be some walnuts and pecan nuts and other kind of nuts and some hard candy, and sometimes one chocolate, and then an orange.
I remember and that's where that kind of comes from. Is I remember when I was young too, my mom would put oranges and peanuts in some, and so that's where that started. That was a huge treat back then, huh? That's fun. What all did you do for fun when you were young, Graham?
We played kick the can, run sheep run. We built bonfires and roasted marshmallows. If anybody had enough money to get the marshmallows. And I remember I put up a little box on a post over by the corner, and I'd write a letter and put it in there for my friend, and then she'd get it, and then she'd write a letter and put it back in there, and we passed off letters that way.
Made that fun.
Yeah. And we played kick the can and run sheep run at night, and all of the curling kids would be there, and the boys would have one side and the girls the other, or sometimes choose up sides.
I don't know what the run sheep run is.
Okay, you'd have sides, you'd choose, and then you'd end up with two groups. Okay, when it was your turn, you'd go out and hide, and then the other group came looking for you.
Oh.
And if they caught you and ran back to a goalpost, and then you were caught and
You were out.
you're out. But if you made it back before they did, why?
Kind of almost captured the flag in
Yeah.
some way. That's pretty cool.
Yes, and I thought it was funny because the boys always did a lot of whistling to use for signals, and then I learned how to whistle, and I could whistle
Trick 'em?
as good as the boys could and trick them.
Trick them. That's funny. That's funny.
All right, Graham, I have a question. So when you were younger, what was the kind of, because back then I imagine everyone had to do their part. Like, what are like chores and stuff that you had to do to help the family out?
Nothing.
You didn't have to do anything?
My mom didn't make me do anything.
Oh,
She was the
wow.
baby.
You were the baby. So you got it pretty good.
All I did was play.
Oh,
That's fun.
Nice. Yeah, because back then your perception is you had a lot of chores and so on and so forth. But
So who'd that fall on then? All your chores. Who picked up your slack?
What would have been the chores?
I don't know.
see,
That's what-
she didn't live on a farm or anything though.
Oh, okay.
They were just
No, there wasn't anything to do.
Did you had chickens with eggs, right? Or did you not?
Just in Fruitland when we moved
We were
to
down-
Kirtland, we didn't have anything but a garden.
So you guys just lived it was a house you said by the church?
Yeah, it was over by the church.
It wasn't right by the church. It
Little
was
ways
over
up.
there. Do you know Kirtland at all?
You know where Jared used to live, or
Yeah.
that trailer? Just right across the street from there.
Oh, it was there. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Across the street there, that's where that house was. So
Yeah, there was that old wooden house there, and then on the other side was another old house. And so when we first moved to Kirtland, we lived in the first one where it had a water well and an outhouse and all the real nice things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought for some reason that there was a farm.
No, we had land where we could grow a good-sized garden and some corn and stuff, but we didn't sell it or anything.
just for your consumption.
Yeah, and then when this house belonged to my uncle, and when he decided he was going to move into it, then we moved in the house that was next door. And we lived there till my dad got sick, and we knew he wasn't going to make it. And then we moved back in that other place again, and that's where we were living when he passed away.
And that house stood for a long time.
And Charles tore it down.
Yeah. Because I do remember it. Just scarcely remember it when I was real little.
It was really just an old beat-out thing with wood floors and linoleum that was cracked and torn, and
Yeah.
it had 2 old bedrooms. There wasn't even any. They weren't even finished, and all they had in was bed, and that was it. Just 2 bedrooms.
Grandma, so like music and stuff like that, did you guys have a radio? Did you have a record player?
When I was really young, we didn't have a radio. We didn't have anything. But my dad played the violin, and my dad played the guitar and different string instruments. But as far as that other music, we didn't have it. But my uncle lived in that first house we moved into, and then we were living over in the second house. And my uncle, they had a radio, and so I don't know how they did it, but they put a wire over to our house, and so we had some kind of what do you call something that's
It's not a speaker.
Like a speaker on
Yeah, I
its-
can't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the exact
and
name.
then we could listen to whatever they were listening to, but that's all we could
That's it?
have. Yeah,
I was curious about that.
yeah.
So TV obviously didn't happen for a
Oh
while.
heavens, a long while.
Yeah,
Wasn't even thought of.
at that time probably wasn't even thought of. Huh? Tell us about your grade schools and your friends in your grade schools, and if you remember your teachers or what kind of effect that had on you.
I went to first grade. I had Mrs. Decker, and she taught kindergarten and first grade. I guess there was a kindergarten. I'm not sure whether that was what it was called, but anyway, I went to her for, I think, most of 2 years. And in second grade, I had Mrs. Cunningham, and I had her second and third, but also in third I had 2 different teachers, one part of the day and other part of the day. And of course we had math or number spelling. And then when I got in the fourth grade, I had the same teacher that her name was Mrs. Bissage. And do you know Carolyn Allred? It was her mother.
Oh, okay.
And she was my teacher through fourth grade and fifth grade. No, she was part of third grade and fourth grade, and then fifth grade I had Mrs. Neal, and she was a tough teacher. I remember there was a boy that was Phil's cousin. His name was Zane Fouts, and it seemed like she always was hitting on him and scolding him and everything. He took the medicine for everybody in the room, I think. Anyway, that's what it seemed like to me. And in my mind, I can remember.
That's funny.
I don't know why we did that, but we did. And my girlfriend and I, we didn't want anything to do with them, because not that we cared, but if we had anything to do with them, then the other kids wouldn't like us.
Do you remember how many kids you had in your classroom, Grandma?
I'm going to gauge that we had maybe 15.
Okay. Per grade, huh?
Yeah, and maybe a few more, but we had pretty good sized grades.
Yeah, that is. That's. I
Yeah.
didn't think it was that big. That's cool. And so, do you recall? Did you have a lot of friends, or were you just hang out with one or two, or how was that?
I just
back
hung
then?
out with one or two. I had Edna Jack. She was when I was really young, and then she moved away. So then I had Geraldine Christensen, and I, when I was probably, I don't know how old I was, I went to Grants and stayed with Vernon Raymond. And while I was over there, I heard that Geraldine and her brother were riding with her grandparents, and they were going to California, and they had a wreck and killed all four of them.
Oh wow!
So I lost my best friend there.
Oh wow!
And I had Gwen Arnold and Emma Lou Palmer.
Palmer.
Now, you know the Arnolds.
Yep.
Gwen was the youngest one in their family.
Okay. I do.
And Emma Lou Palmer was, let's see, how do I tell you?
Because there was a lot of Palmers down.
Yeah,
In,
it was the ones that lived down there across from Malou and
yeah,
those
from the
guys.
Breckenridges, right there. Yep. Yep.
She was 6 feet tall, and I was on 5 feet tall. So they called us Mutt and Jeff.
That's funny. Did you have like at school? Did they have radios or record players that you could listen to music or instruments you could play at school? Do you remember or that type of
No,
stuff?
they had an orchestra. They developed an orchestra, and my 6th and 7th grade teacher was Mr. Farr, and he was the music man. And I didn't have any kind of an instrument, and so this company from Albuquerque came to our school to try to promote the sale of some of their instruments, and they gave a test in school, a music test. So everybody in the school took the test from the 6th grade all through high school. I made the highest grade of anybody.
No, nice.
I made 99%.
Oh, cool.
And I was surprised that everybody didn't do it because it was an easy test.
It was easy for you.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you. That's funny.
And then I finally got a metal clarinet. The nice ones were ebony or whatever they call
Yeah,
it,
I
black.
remember those. Yeah.
So I played the clarinet in the band
Oh, nice. You played the piano too, right?
by ear, but that's all.
And you started, yeah. When did you get it was later in life when you got a piano, wasn't it?
Well, when I was a child, we had an organ, pump organ. You had to pump it with your feet to make it go.
I've seen those
Yeah.
I've seen those in pictures before.
Yeah, and so I used to. My dad was so happy when I was in there picking out little songs on it.
Just by ear too. Yeah. Yeah, there was that family. There's some musical talent.
Yes,
I
Yeah.
used to love to listen to Uncle Charles and his steel guitar. Man,
yes,
I loved it. He was he would just sit there and play for hours too.
I know. He was good at that steel
Yeah,
guitar.
he was really good.
And his brother-in-law had a country western band, and he played with that.
Yeah, they're talented musically. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
And Golden was too.
Yeah, and Golden, you all were obviously.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if when you were when you were older, you probably got into some music a little bit older, maybe teen years, huh?
Oh, and, yeah.
as you got older?
I did. It was when I was a teenager. It was the year of the big band music,
Yeah, remember that.
and quite frankly, I never cared for big band music. But
Yeah, that's what it was at the time, right?
yeah, but when we went to dances, it was mostly country western.
Yeah, which was big back in those days. How about, do you remember your baptism when you got baptized, Grandma?
Sure
Where
do.
was it at?
Up in the big ditch up there by Manning's. And Phil got
Oh, okay.
baptized the same day I did.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Okay,
Were you 8?
I was 8,
Okay.
but I turned 8 in October, and I didn't get baptized till the next summer.
Because
I don't know
too
the
cold?
exact date, but back then, they would take anybody that had turned 8 during the winter, and then when it got
In the
warm,
summer,
then
when
they
it was
were
warm enough?
baptized, because they just baptized them in the ditch or the river.
That's interesting because, yeah, there probably wouldn't be water, obviously, until the summer anyway in the
Yeah.
ditch, so it's empty.
Yeah,
No
that's
water.
right. And I remember I had to borrow the swimming suit from my cousin. I didn't even have one.
Oh, really? I remember that big ditch. I was always a big thing in Kerr. Later, they concreted it, and you couldn't. It got more dangerous because
Yeah.
of the head gates and everything. But
And it sloped like this.
yeah, it sloped. You couldn't get out. But I remember when I was younger, we jumped in that big ditch still.
Yeah.
And I know that was a big thing for years in Curly.
Yeah.
Even down, they would put all kinds of stuff in the big ditch, and that's where we'd swim.
This thing's killing my ear.
Yeah.
Oh, it's killing your ear.
Is it? We're almost done. You got any more questions? And we can.
Other than just what do you remember about the experience of being baptized?
I can remember standing. I can remember this Bloomfield man that baptized us, and I can remember standing there with all a group of kids and being scared to death when it was my turn, because I had to wade out into that water that was deep. But other than that, you're only 8 years old, and so there wasn't much. They didn't have like they do now, where someone talks and
They didn't
they
do
have
all
a
that.
song or something like that. It was just to go up there to the big ditch and
He does the prayer, don't you, and you're
Yep.
done, huh? Okay. A lot different now, yeah.
Yes.
As is a lot of things.
yeah.
Okay. You got any more questions for Grandma about that period?
I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay. So next time we'll talk about your teenage years and those types of things as you're getting older.